Hi everyone, First the Dos Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Serpent with Feet project, DEACON. This is the sophomore LP of art pop and alternative R&B artist Josiah Wise, aka Serpent with Feet. One of my most anticipated albums of the year, given just how much promise was shown on Josiah's debut, Soil, along with some of the heartwarming sentiments expressed on teasers like Same Size Shoe and Fellowship. I thought DEACON might not only shape up to be a better album than Soil, but maybe a much needed ray of light and hope after an incredibly dark year. But if you remember, as much as I did enjoy Soil, I did have my reservations with it, mostly with the instrumentals not being detailed or layered enough to adequately support Josiah's very beautiful and unique voice. But on DEACON, that issue doesn't seem to have resolved. On some tracks, I actually think it's gotten worse. Yes, at least on several tracks here, there seems to be even less going on instrumentally. And look, in concept, I'm not against the idea of taking a minimal approach. Certainly there are other artists in the fields of art pop and R&B that have shown you can do a lot with a little, be that Twigs or Sebdaliza or Moses Sumney, Perfume Genius. But for me, DEACON reads as more awkward and unfinished than it does minimal. Take the track Malik, for example. Lyrically, it does seem like a lot of thought and a lot of heart went into this one. But then consider the bland and stiff kick-clap patterns, the plain pianos, the basic reverbs, the sudden ending. Sonically, the track is about as uninspired as it gets. The track Amir is similarly flat and dry. As is, it sounds like the frame of a house, just like the walls and the finishings haven't really been put up yet. The mix on the track Woodboy is especially rough too, with its dusty chugging beats, enveloping dungeon synths, and thick reverb vocal harmonies, all of which clash as they overlap. And while the vocals on this LP are easily the most standout characteristic about it, they don't come off nearly as ambitious, bold, or as eccentric as they did on Soil. Now, look, overall I did find this record underwhelming, but still listenable, and there were some relative highlights that made that the case. Maybe not tracks that I thought were much better than anything on Soil, but maybe just as good. We have the intriguing intro track, which is like a dronier, dreamier take on a Frank Ocean ballad. It's bright, it's hopeful, it's gorgeous. There's also the track Sailor Superstition, which is one of the few moments on the record where the beats and grooves actually go over quite smoothly. They don't feel too naked or too stiff. The glossy keys and pads that sneak in on the chorus are a great touch. I think Josiah also really nails it on the background vocals. Plus, narratively, the track ties in really well with the record's overall themes of love, but this time with a paranoid twist. There's also an element of queerness that plays into that, the idea of receiving judgment for being open about this love he's singing of. But as you read into the lyrics, there's also this vague sense of bringing on bad energy by solidifying the relationship more or getting complacent in it in some way. Hence the superstition in the title. I also love the refrain, "Don't whistle on the ship," meaning, you know, don't act like things are great or chill or smooth sailing on this ship, or else some bad stuff might come. You'll jinx how great things are. I mean, I think this track lyrically and conceptually is just good writing all around. Another highlight for me on the record was Heartstorm featuring Now, who I think has a great vocal dynamic with Josiah on the track. The heavy rushes of bass and keys at a few points of the song make for some of the most dynamic musical passages on the entire LP too. And the closing Fellowship I found instrumentally and also emotionally to be one of the lovelier spots on the LP. I love the organic layers of vocals and percussion throughout. While structurally this may be one of the more singular songs on the LP, I think the track isn't really about that. It's more about this sense of togetherness and oneness with people that you care about, people you love, created musically through what sounds like an intimate jam session between a bunch of musicians. But again, as much as I can commend these tracks, they don't make up the majority of the record, which, by the way, is pretty scant as well. The couple of interlude tracks here just barely pad this thing out to 29 minutes. I found this record to be conceptually inspiring with its nods to love and emotional intimacy, but musically underwhelming with some of the most bland and uninspired instrumentals I've heard on any of Serpent with Feet stuff to date. Feeling a strong 5 to a light 6 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Serpent with Feet, forever.